Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, what do they have in common? Well, they're all about the heart. Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day, all about the heart. Now, Valentine's Day is much more gentle. There's chocolate involved. There's a lot of sweet messages. But Ash Wednesday, there's nothing gentle about it. We're going to battle. Our heart is captured by this world, is captured by Satan, is captured by our sin. And in fact, we are the ones that gave it away. We constantly give our heart away, and that's why you hear the first prayer. I'm going to run to the missal here. The opening prayer at Mass today was, grant, O Lord, that we may begin with holy fasting this campaign of Christian service. It's a campaign, so that as we take up battle against spiritual evils, we may be armed with weapons of self-restraint. That we are on a campaign, a Christian campaign. We're doing battle, spiritual battle to reclaim our heart and give it to the Father. Return to me with your whole heart. That's what we heard in the first reading today. Return to me with your whole heart. The whole thing, I want it all your heart. And he says, rend your hearts, not your garments. Rend. I was thinking about this word rend. I love that word. It means rent asunder, right? So torn apart. So we tear our heart open. But there's another way to look at that word, rend. So I was looking it up. So rend is also the word where we get wrench, to turn. So we're turning our heart. And it also has a use to rend is to pull something out. So when you rend a branch from a tree that's stuck in a tree, you are pulling it out. Have you ever seen that or even done it yourself? Like the heavy branch, it's stuck in the tree and you're like trying to pull it out and it gets caught on the other branches, but you've got to like rip it out, right? You got to set it free. That's what we need to do in Lent. We need to rend our hearts, rip them out of the things that clutch our hearts, that things that we've given our heart away to, our sin, our addictions, our distractions, the busyness, everything other than God. We need to rend our hearts. Now, we can't do that on our own, and that's really important. We don't rend our hearts. We open ourselves up to the grace of God to do the rending. But what is it for you? What is trapping your heart? What needs to be rent asunder? What needs to be trimmed and clipped and pulled apart in order for your heart to be free this Lent, to be given to the Lord your God, so that you can be free, so you can be free. And that's what's amazing, is surrendering to God. We lose nothing, but we gain everything. We surrender everything to God. We are dust. We're nothing without him, but with him we are everything, everything. So what is it for you, for me? What do we need to rend? Maybe it is, first and foremost, busyness. Like, I don't give God any time because I say I don't have time for prayer. I don't have time to go to Mass. I don't have time for these things. I'm trying to fit God in instead of let God be the center. I'm trying to cram him in, and it's not working because I'm so busy. I'm so busy. We have so many things that we're doing. Good things, but so many things. So what do? Shut the door. Jesus says in the gospel, shut the door. He says, yes, don't pray like I'm a holy roller, but go into your room and shut the door. And another way to look at that is shut the door on distraction. Shut the door on busyness. Take time every day. Every day. The first thing, to shut the door on distraction and give your heart to God. Give him time in prayer. He's the one who created you. He's the most important relationship we have. And so we need to shut the door on distraction every day to give him an undivided time of prayer. That will change us. And as we give our hearts to him in that way, he pulls our heart out of the branches. As we give our heart to him, shutting the door on distraction, he takes and reclaims our heart for himself. He does the rending. He does the freeing. We need to surrender that time. That's our job. So maybe for you, it's not the busyness. Maybe it's social media. Social media. Oh my goodness. The image that I have for this is like every scroll, I'm like giving my heart away. Scroll, giving my heart away, giving my heart away, giving my heart away, giving my heart away. I mean, in multiple different ways. It could even be like in good things, I'm giving my heart away because I'm giving my attention and my time. I'm literally worshiping these shorts. Like, oh, I'm just going to check one thing. How many of us have been in that situation where it's like, oh, I got to just check one thing really quick. 2 hours later. It's like, whoa, where did the time go? I like don't have time for prayer, but for some reason, every day I can manage to weasel in like 2 hours of just random social media scrolling. See, think about that. Like that, it just doesn't make sense, right? I say I don't have time for prayer, but screen time is always up. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I think I might have company. So if social media is an issue, just cut it out. Seriously, cut it out. Why? You're not going to die. It's not going to kill you. Just cut it out. Stop yourself from going in the brambles. How often do we feel so pathetic because we've given over so much time and so much of our heart to social media, and especially even if it could get even worse if it's like comparison or leading me into sin. Like, whoa, not worth it. Cut it out, at least for this Lent. I promise you're not going to die. It might be the best time of your life. You don't have to worry about that. And you'll figure out who your true friends are, and you'll find out what needs to be done. You'll get the updates. People will work around it. You'll be fine. Cut it out. Maybe it's some addiction or like depression or just something that like, I know I have a problem. I have an addiction, alcoholism, depression, something that's really wrong, and I'm hiding it maybe, but I know it's taking over my life. It's making me miserable, and I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I don't want to admit it, but I know deep down, like, there's some shackles. I'm not free, and I want to deny that I have a problem, but I have a problem. Well, this Lent, reach out. Reach out. There are resources, counseling, professional help, psychiatry, family members and friends that you can let in on this, the light, accountability groups, whatever it is. Do it. Stop it, because isn't it amazing? We're so willing to live this misery of our addiction, this misery of depression, this misery of whatever it is for you, and whatever it is, we're willing to live that misery as long as we avoid that one tough conversation or that one uncomfortable day where I have to admit these things, or that one phone call, or you know what, we want to avoid that, so we don't do it. And yet we just live in misery perpetually. That's not freedom. Just do it. Just this Lent. Look, Jesus, he died on the cross for you. He didn't want to do that. That was really painful, but he did it for the joy that lay ahead. He did it because he knew it was setting you free. He did it because he wanted to give you an example of sometimes things are hard. Freedom is hard won, but it's so worth it. So do it. And maybe it's a sin. This is a particular sin that's just like, man, I can't get this out of my life. I keep committing the same sin. Or maybe there's one sin or two sins, things that you've done that you're so ashamed of. It's like, I can't believe I did that. I feel worthless. Like all of these emotions are getting piled around these sins. Go to confession, sacrament of reconciliation, and go a lot. We have a lot more confession times available this Lent, so I'm really excited about that. We have extra time. Check it out and come. Come to confession. Receive reconciliation, where God, he takes your heart that's in the brambles and he takes it back to himself, reconciles you, and gives you grace and strength to do battle, spiritual battle against temptation, against Satan, and to set you free. Brothers and sisters, what's it going to be? We are going together into the desert to do battle this Lent. The battle of our heart, to reclaim that heart for God, to allow him, to surrender to him, to let him take our heart back from what is snatching it away, and so that we can give it back to him, our whole heart, and know the freedom, the glory, and the joy of being a child of the Father. This is going to be an epic Lent, brothers and sisters, St. Philip family. Let's do battle together.